Greetings. Now, the problem with creation is that when I'm trying to create something for my life, I do not know how good it is for me, because who is this creator? The question should be, I want to create something for myself. Now, the question again goes to, who's that I? It depends on that. So, the whole secret, you can say, is based on which I are you creating from. If it is I, this personality, the ego consciousness, then obviously whatever I create, I am creating out of my limited beliefs, limited understanding. So I create according to my vasanas, my unconscious desires. And I'm not sure where and how they are going to be functional and where it is going to end up in. I do not know whether these desires are good for my ultimate good or not. That is why most of the time when people create something for their life, sooner or later they realize that this was not what I wanted. So who is this who has not got what he or she wanted? It is the ego consciousness. So the whole operation depends on, where is your awareness. If your awareness is in the I, deeply rooted in the I consciousness, I, the go-getter. See, how will you know this very clearly? This I, this ego consciousness, will have only desires that very outwardly. This so-called, what everybody boasts about, success, success, success. What kind of success? I have seen so many people who have been successful and still miserable. They have created success, but somewhere they have created misery in that success. So misery can come hidden in success also. Because if you do not know the definition of success, if you feel this outwardly success is everything and this is what? Achieving, the achievements, being an achiever, go-getter. Achiever of what? Even Alexander was a great achiever and he died a miserable ending. He had a miserable ending, full of regrets. There have been so many kings, so many great successful businessmen, so-called great warriors of humanity, the saviors of humanity, successful in their own field, but depends on which area they were operating from. So if I want to be of service to this humanity, it still depends on which I is that operating from. If it is this personality, then it is bound to attract miseries even in that success. But if it is from that I, which is the consciousness, the awareness, that what you do is, from when you shift into that awareness, that is why the shifting into awareness is ultimatum in everything. You do any damn thing in life, you need to operate from this awareness. For that you have to shift. That shifting is what even Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Yogaskur Karmani. Do from the state of being. Very conflicting, but that's how it is. So you are a doer, you are a go-getter. All those things are still there, but you have shifted. Now the false I, or the ego or individual or this personality, is not creating anything. Now the consciousness has shifted within. The awareness is on the consciousness. And from that being, from that stillness, from that divinity, I am operating outwardly. That blend which is there is where the secret lies. And that is what precisely we are doing in this Sunday webinar. Because art of materialization, all this and all, you can create even damn horrible things if you are not knowing the art of doing that. So if you are just motivated by greed, because most of the systems that teach on creation is based on greed, because you can see the advertisement also, it's based simply on outer success, build up abundance, build up wealth, build up good health, and build up relationships, and build up this and build up that, and go get this, stay on the peak, build up a business, and go to the top of your employment, or to the job that your career that you're working in. It's all about that. But at the end of the day, you can see all these successful people have to come back home and have a peg or smoke or drown themselves with a sleeping pill. What kind of success is that? So most of the time what happens is, yes, we are bound by desires, no doubt. We have desires, and that is why we have come to experience here. We have taken this body to experience that. But nobody said it, experience it unconsciously. What I am talking about is create and experience everything consciously. Creative, conscious thinking. Conscious thinking. Conscious creation. And conscious experiencing. Bhoga. When these three things are complete, then you have the fulfillment of the outward as well as the inward, because the outward success must lead you to your inner self. If any success is not leading you to your inner peace and contentment, you are on the wrong track. Sooner or later, you will see dissatisfaction in that. And that is why the disappointments. So a very thin shift this is, and that is why we have been doing this very deep, intense sessions. Almost 4 sessions we have. 2 we already did, 2 or 3 we already did. We have just one more, 4th. So in case you are attending tomorrow's webinar, make sure you have gone through these 4 simple sessions. But they are in depth. Then you can understand what I am talking about. Then in the Sunday's webinar, we can simply sit there and do the process. If you are prepared, and your preparedness comes from your readiness to live the ultimatum. So this is spirituality. Spirituality doesn't mean just outwardly. Spirituality, everything must end up in the end inward, because inward is where it gives you peace. Now imagine you create whatever outer success, and that success is simultaneously stimulating inner success in you. Peace, sense of joy, a sense of completion. If it is giving a sense of fulfillment and completion, means you are contented. Contented means you have completed that cycle of bhoga. You won't get it again. That's the whole thing about. So if you unconsciously are into it, you can get stuck. And I know almost everyone is unconsciously doing it. That is why at the end of all the success programs also, nobody is actually successful from within. I don't know, outwardly they might be very successful. They might amass wealth and all. That's not a big deal. You can fake your mind and start visualizing and imagining and creating and all this law of attraction. All these things are there. But by the time you create it and then you realize, oh my God, what have I done? This is not what I wanted. Life presented something else, because it's a very thin line. Life gives you by what you are, not what you think. So you might be someone, but you might be thinking someone. It's a conflict. So you can say half it will create from there, half it will create from here. It's a confusing creation. You can end up jumbled up. Like the creator, one of the person who was trying to create, I want wealth, hook or crook, I want wealth. And then all the time thinking, imagining, visualizing wealth. I need wealth. Let me get this wealth. So when we are creating with this kind of a imagination, which is based just on greed, she ended up getting whatever $1 million she wanted, but at the expense of her insurance. This is how it is. The universe doesn't know. If you create random vibes, impure vibes, half here, half there, not completely conscious about it, then you will get the results, but see the end, what it is. Insurance means he or she lost a leg or something like that, and it was an accident insurance. What is the point? So this dry creation, one must be very much conscious about. Either you do it very consciously and in full awareness, knowing the blueprint of your life. Background should be your ultimate goal of life, and then you do it. Otherwise, better not to do it, because you will end up again searching and hunting. You still not find peace, and until you get the ultimatum, you are not going anywhere. So even the people who write their goals, there are people who write goals, there are people who visualize, there are people who affirm, do affirmations, all that. Simple suggestion that I'm giving you is, write down all your desires, but what is the end desire? What is the main desire for which you have come here? Have you forgotten that? If you are a spiritual person, you should know the basics at least. You have come here to realize the ultimatum, the ultimate source. You are actually trying to go through the source. Why are you not able to understand this? Is because you want deeply that Satchidananda, that bliss and that peace and contentment, but you think it's in the outward. When you think wrongly, it is in the outward, you start creating outside. You're chasing and hunting it. So life will keep on proving it to you. No, it's not there. It's not in that. It's not in that. So you can waste a lifetime doing this stuff. So what I say is, write down all your desires, whatever his things are. But you will also have this point. Somewhere I need to have the ultimatum, reach the ultimatum, or what you call as, I want to be self-realized. I want to realize myself, or I want to attain God, God realization, whatever that is. Spiritual goal, whatever you define it as. If that is somewhere on your list, then it's somewhere a conscious creation, not fully, but you are actively aware of your main purpose, why you have come here. You are not distracted like the others, simply lost. So if you have added this somewhere point in all your list, what I would suggest is move this to the top. It will work. Move it to the top. Whatever that is the state of realization, the state of the self, state of God realization. I want to attain that peace, contentment, the ultimate truth, realize, become, the Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, whatever that is. However, I am that, I am, whatever you want to translate it, let that be on the top. And then you list down all your outwardly goals, because all these outwardly goals are actually trying to move you to that first goal only. It is a subconscious. All these XYZ 20 or 50 different desires that you have is simply seeking that only, contentment. So if you put that on the top and then you list your desires, what will happen is, all the time when you are co-creating or creating, you will have this awareness of your real purpose, and keeping that purpose as your foundation, because you begin with it, then you start creating your outward. What happens is, then you have created awareness. This is operating in awareness, because the first point itself shifts you into awareness. When you're creating, visualizing, whatever you're doing, you'll see the first point itself will transfer you into that divine state of consciousness. And now the rest of the desires, when you are going through it, you are using that consciousness, that connectivity, and then creating it. So imagine you're imbibing the spirit of divinity, and then drowning all the other, or flooding all the other desires also with that divinity. You are empowering the other things also with that divinity. So that will keep you, lead you to that kind of. This is one sutra that I am telling, which I have followed in my life. This is one sutra. But there are many more, and there is this method which I am using again, the Shiva Sutras, because you will be able to understand it better. So when we are using the Shiva Sutras, again to use my free will, that I create, the I create. But I have the divine will, that is the ultimatum, my ultimate goal. Everything is not mine. I only feel that, I am doing everything. This falseness which is there, it's my life, I can create anything that I want. It's false. It's not true. You cannot create anything that you want. You might have free will to create, but you have limitations. Okay, please understand that. We can discuss on this even in depth. It's not. So somewhere all these free wills also are very limited, but over that what is playing is the divine will. You can see this whole world, chaos, this, that, what's all going. Everybody is up to there, making peace, making rallies, raising consciousness, doing this, and everybody is believing, I'm doing it, we are doing it. But if you see the ultimatum, it is all moving in a different direction. Whatever you plan for this planet, it has never happened. What you plan for your own life also, it has never happened. I always say this. Look at yourself. You were thrown here. You are not even aware when you were born. Without your permission, you came here in one way. And when you leave also without permission, who's going to ask your permission? The Amdut is not going to come and tell you, we have an appointment next Monday, here's a reminder. No. Now is the moment. You are just flunked. You don't know. Where is I? Where is this I am creating? And Your brain is working, your heart is working, your heart is pumping without your permission. Does it take any permission? When it began also, it didn't take permission. When it's continuing also, it's not taking permission. When it finishes also, it will not take permission. Nobody bothers. Nobody cares for your permission. Your lungs don't care for your permission. Your digestive system doesn't care for your permission. You might say, I'm eating. Oh, that is the limitation that you have. But once it goes inside, you cannot say for the next 3 hours, no digestion. It's not in your hands. What is in our hands? Tell. Just imagine whatever you thought in life. I want this, I'll do this, my dream, that dream. And where are you? Life is going. We are not seeing that something is overriding us. That's divine will. That's the divine blueprint. It will always run by that. So whatever little game we are allowed to play, because that's why that divinity is saying, okay, play around, enjoy. You also should have that feeling, no, I have done something here. So done, and do the dramas, and feel overwhelmed about I did something, have an experience. That's all. But you cannot say I can take everything. Even Ravana tried it, could not happen. No Asura could do it. Everybody wanted to be the final ultimate creator, and see what the ego can create. When one starts feeling it's my life, I can create anything I want. See what happens. You become an Asura. And because if there are impurities, you will head in a different direction. There is no one to control you. You'll say, I am the ultimatum. No. You'll see all the people who said, I am the ultimatum, something from higher than themselves came and proved it to them. No. It's not going to happen. Everything doesn't happen according to your wish. Okay, little whatever you played, that's enough. So when we understand this, we humble down. When we humble down, we realize there is a higher divine will. And what we do is we consciously connect to my blueprint of my life. When I understand the blueprint of my life, now when I add my creation, my limited creation, sone pe suhaga. That's what we are going to do this Sunday. So if you are interested, you can always welcome to come. But if you're doing that, then today you have 1 day time, and tomorrow morning also, because tomorrow 1 o'clock we are beginning. Make sure you see all the videos. Those videos are there, preparatory sessions which I have done. They are open to all our team members who are there. They are in the group. They all get it. But in case you are coming new, then please send us a message, and we will give you the link to see the preparatory, provided you have registered for tomorrow. So those who have registered for tomorrow, we'll give you the free links of the 4 preparatory sessions. In case you think it is too overwhelming, you can't do it everything, then this is going to come into a course anyways. So next week also, if you want, it will be available as a course. The 4 preparatory sessions plus this main webinar, which is called as Dissolving the Old by Vibing the New. So we are understanding the new, that blueprint of my life, and holding on to that frequency. So we are living that frequency, and what has to dissolve will dissolve. We are not interested in going down and lifting up our sleeves and getting into the dirt and removing all the old part of me. Old part of me, let it remain there. I just vibrate on my new. For that, I have to know. I have to identify my goals with the ultimate blueprint of life. And that is what we are going to sit together and do it. Tonight, we are going to discuss this blueprint. Okay. So yesterday we had a homework. I told to find out what is your unfulfilled desires and what is your unresolved issues and all that. So today we will combine all that, and we will see what can we look forward to for the ultimatum. Much divine love and light to all of you. Stay blessed.